this book called Billionaire Habits, and then page 106. Page 106, and it says, I have a quote here. It says, "Wouldn't it be nice if everyone decided to face his or her own life and become wealthy instead of paying unnecessary attention to other people's lifestyle?" And on page 107, that's part 3, talks about investment habits. And so what I was trying to get at here is how oftentimes as people of color we're particular about other people. In fact, sometimes we mock people's poverty when we are in better. And isn't it amazing? Like people will sit there and start talking about other people, mocking other people's situations. Meanwhile, they are not even better than those people that they are making fun of. But in reality, we should focus our energy on building the habit of becoming a real investor. Somebody said something powerful about, and I agree with it, which is the fact that a lot of us are rather would prefer to look wealthy, would prefer to look rich than actually becoming rich. And that is an issue. Welcome, sir. How are you? Yeah, thank you. Please have your seat. Welcome. So we prefer to look rich than actually becoming rich. And until we work hard on things like this, and sometimes people will say, but Dr. Stephen, how do I invest when I don't even have enough? Investment is never about whether you have enough or not. It's really about the habits, the culture. If you're a consumer by design, all you will always drift towards is how do I consume? How do I consume? If you're a producer, on the other hand, all you are thinking about is how do I produce? How do I produce? When I moved to Dubai, the only thing in my mind is how do I sell something? How do I add value? Right? When we open our business in the US, the same thing. How do we produce? How do we add value? And now we have several projects we're investing in, amazing stuff we're doing in the US as well. We're about starting some big stuff also here in the UK. But it begins with the mindset of, are you going to see life from the investment perspective or, consumption perspective? I give you a practical example. Oftentimes I hear stories about the reason why I'm not an investor is because I do not have enough money. Now, many of us agree with me that that's not true. Because no great investor actually use their money. It's other people's money. Let me take it deeper. No great country became great with their money, at least as of today. So let's start with the Great Britain, where we are. These streets were not built with British money, right? Africa was colonized, plundered, and the resources was used to develop it and make it look what it looks today. Am I making sense at all? And that's why you will find some of the biggest diamond and gold here, even though they don't have them. Okay, because they took them. Is this making sense? Same thing with France, right? Same thing with even America. Had to, take advantage of. You look at the African Americans. I say African Americans. Yeah, partly African Americans having to come in as laborers, but if you also look at the Indian Americans, who were like the forerunners, who were the original owners or the natives of the land that America possesses today. So the argument is, and today when you look at it as well, bless you, just take your time.
It's an allergy.
No,
Sorry, continue please.
Right? So if you look at your life even up to now, even America, yes, it has oil, but guess what? It's more bothered about the oil it can take from other countries. right? It has gas, it has all of that. So the same thing when it comes to investment. What will really take your business to the next level isn't just your own personal money that you're investing. The personal money you're investing will do two things. It will first of all shows that you have skin in the game, right? So if, for example, I'm doing a project, for example, in the US, it's going to cost us $40 million, right? Now, it's easy for me to say, please come and invest in this project because one, we fully paid for the land. We're fully putting our resources to do stuff on that project, right? So if I'm not saying, bring your money to you, it makes sense. But if I don't put my own personal money, and then I'm saying everybody should come and put their money, people will be skeptical. And that's where really your money comes in. Number two place where your money comes in sometimes also to test it and be sure this thing works. If I've used my own money to do an investment and it worked for me, right? Let's say I decided to invest in anything. Let's assume I invested $10,000 and I converted that $10,000 to $15,000. So now I am sure that every year I can make a 50% return on investment in that particular type of investment, isn't it? I can then reach out to everybody in this room and say, you know what? Come and bring your own $10,000. I will give you 20% every year. Right? I know that I've used my own money to have done it, and it has given me what? 50% guaranteed, isn't it? So I know that no matter what happens, I will be able to give you back your 20% return on a yearly basis. Is this helpful? So we must understand that what is stopping us from being great investors has nothing to do with that we don't have enough money. But it has everything to do with, number one, we are not trained about what exactly are we going to invest in. How do we invest in it in a safe and secure manner, right? How do we get the courage to even take the risk of doing the investment in the first place? All this comes through training, because if you're scared of investment, it's a fear, is a function of lack of knowledge. Knowledge always will destroy fear. And that's why the Bible talks about faith coming by hearing. Hearing, two hearing now. Emphasis on the fact that it's not the first time you are trained that you become free from fear of investment. You have to constantly be trained about the subject of investment, about being an entrepreneur, and gradually you won't even know when you have evolved into who you are supposed to evolve into. Yeah. Sometimes the day you discover you've evolved into who you are supposed to evolve into is the day you are irritated by your old friends, right? Because you just realize they are discussing things that just irritate you, and then you just don't know. But you used to laugh with them. These things you are irritated by used to make sense to you before. So now you realize that, oh, I'm growing, that's why. I no longer fancy some of these senseless talks that is not really adding any value to us. Is this making sense? So we as people of color, that's why I'm doing a lot of this meet and greet, we must hammer into ourselves the need to prioritize investment, and it begins with training. Number two, it begins with mentorship. A lot of us do not have any financial mentor in our lives. I'll share a very funny story with you guys, and I pray your children will never be in that position. So here was I went to meet my father-in-law. I wanted to marry his daughter. Okay, this was many years ago. We just buried him recently. May his soul rest in peace. Yeah. And he kept just asking me questions. So, who's your father? I mentioned, of course, he's not a famous person that he knew. Okay, who is your mother? She's not a famous person he knew. Okay. At some point, you have to even come out and say, is there anybody in your family that... Because I can't just give my daughter, right, to people that there's nobody notable. I could not... he went further to even say, church-wise. Incidentally, he used to attend my church. So even church-wise, some of the pastors he used to know, right, he was even mentioning them, none of them know me. at that point, say, you know, I can't give my daughter to. I said, you know, he said to them, this is not a responsible guy. You can't take care of my daughter, right? Now, the lesson from that, and that's why I shared that story, is that most of us in our lives, if we are not careful, we don't even have people that can model the definition of investment to us, or model the definition of legitimate wealth to us. The practical model of wealth to an average person of color is a politician. It's so bad. I have a video now that has been trending on social media because I challenged people in diaspora that you can't just go to diaspora and just keep thinking of how to get a job. Nothing wrong with getting a job. That's not wrong. But at some point, you have to think ownership. We are not going to end poverty among black people. We're not going to end racism among black people until black people begin to own.
Empowered.
Yes, they have to own. Right? And then it went viral. What I started seeing is people commenting and say, you see, you're a politician. What nonsense is he talking about? After people have stolen all our money. The assumption of majority of those comments was I was a politician. Because obviously
I disposed someone today.
Yeah.
When I invited, sorry to interview.
Yeah.
I invited the person to come here today.
Yeah.
And he was telling me he was in there. I said he's not. I think he watched the one on my con.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
We should walk him alone.
Yeah, I said he is not a politician. So, and I was like saying, well, I something just told me, don't listen to him. You better move.
Yeah.
That's why I was late.
Yeah.
I came from Kent.
Wow.
Go on, sir. So,
funny enough, if you had watched that Mycon interview to the end, I even said it. That because she was saying, would you want to ever become a politician? I said, I have never dreamt of being a politician. I don't want it. I don't see it as something I want to achieve. But my point is that it's been ingrained in our mind that if somebody is rich, he's a politician. He must have done politics. And people I've never taken government contract in my life. Not only am I not a politician, I've never even taken government contract. Right? But the point is, you see why we have to start having the right model of wealth. Because that's where it begins to start. That's why mentorship is important. If you don't have a model, you will keep convincing yourself it can't happen. That's why for me, early as a young man doing business in Nigeria, even when I couldn't afford to get closer, I had the right set of role models. One of them was Dr. Cosmos Maduka. You will never see me talk about a business role model that is a politician, right? Because from day one, I knew I wasn't a politician. I knew I'm not interested in politics. My dad had played party politics, grassroots politics. I saw how he destroyed his life because he was one of those who gave everything towards the 1993 election. MK Abiola in Maiduguri was the secretary of the party. He did everything, and we know how it ended. And he dashed his hope. He killed him. He's still alive, but he never overcame, because you know how you've put all your hope that if this thing work. I mean, imagine being the secretary to the vice president of that election. So you know what will have happened. And incidentally, the presidential candidate is even a Yoruba man, and you are a Yoruba man. So you know what will happen. The kind of position they will have given you in that kind of government is critical. It's definitely going to be critical. Right? But it failed. So for me, I just knew I'm not interested in this politics thing. I want to look for people who made it legitimately. And I want them to be my forefront. And someone like Dr. Cosmos, who started his business with 200 naira, right? Those kind of people gave me encouragement to keep going. And that's why even today, as I keep expanding my business, when I get to a point where money becomes like it's confronting me. We had a project recently. We needed $150 million. I had to. I mean, one of the first person I had to go to his house, to encourage me was Dr. Cosmos, right? Because that was a big singular deal I've ever done, and I just needed that encouragement. And he started giving me a lot of deals he's been doing, just to encourage me to say, look, you can do it, right? You can do it. So it's important to build a culture of investment, but to do it, number one, training. Number two, mentorship. Okay, so who wants to go? By the way, you just join us. You can pick any of the book. We're just reviewing the books and then sharing what jumped on us from the book. So who is next to go?
I can go.
Yes.
I can go?
Yes.
Awesome.
You can.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. One thing that really jumped out to me was, where others see problems, I see possibilities. So I think definitely there has to be that appetite to be able to have that mindset that when problems are happening, there is investment opportunities, there's solutions and stuff like that. So this was from Billionaire Habits for entrepreneurs. So even think about loads of stuff, mortgage, all this investment, family investment in all areas, business, church, everywhere. There is problems as well, and it's mainly to do with paying bills. But there's value as well, and that goes into the second thing that I got from it as well. They think win-win.
Mm-hmm.
So entrepreneurs, they have the mindset of offering value. It says if you must succeed in life, you must make sure that the people you allow in your circle are people who add value to you, and you in return add value to them. So I think building relationships with just that mindset of offering value, in terms of possibilities, problems, and then surroundings, that's where it comes from. Possibilities come from just seeing that need to offer value in any problem, in any situation. So yeah, I think
that's from the
that's
book,
from Billionaire Habits.
The Billionaire Habit for Entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Right. So fantastic, because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I've always said it that we entrepreneurs, we are just problem solvers.
Yeah, problem solving.
Right? The whole concept of I'm an entrepreneur, it just means I am a person who solves problems. And that's why there is no money in analyzing problems. We do that a lot, particularly when it comes to the subject of Africa. You see an average African, the time I get the highest comment, I've gotten situations where I got the highest number of Twitter followers because I complained about something. Right? The day I offer solution, right, nobody is interested in following me for offering solution. But if I can just complain, and I think that's one of the things we need to work on as a people. We need to work on building the culture of wanting to solve the problems that we see, because the real value, the real money is in solving the problem. The money is not in following others to complain. One of the things I talked about in page 41 of Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs, chapter 7, is goal setting. I said all billionaires I know have habitual goal setters. Now, that's 41, page 41, Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs. Now, one of the funny things, and I think if you can take note of this and make it your decision and your culture, you will never be small, particularly if you follow through. All the billionaires I know always are obsessed about solving or about setting impossible goals. I'm talking of goals that nobody has ever solved. I give a practical one. Let's start with Bill Gates. When Bill Gates started his journey, if you remember, when Bill Gates started, he told all of us, who remember, that computer will be in every house. And please, I'm okay, those of them who are younger, they won't understand this. But those of you who are old enough, who had to learn computer in your 20s or 30s, who knows what I'm talking about, right? I mean, I remember when they brought computer to our house, how we started learning how to type.
Yes, sir.
Right? Younger people, they started typing from, right?
We grew up with
Exactly. We had to
The
get,
keypad from your phone.
Yes.
Is there from the
Yeah.
desktop.
we had to learn, and then they say, yeah, use the mouse. It was fun. Hey, use the mouse. Yeah, then we type, right? Those were the background. But imagine someone was telling us then that computer that is something for the wealthy is going to be in everybody's house. That was an impossible. I mean, and that's why a lot of, I'm here to say, single billionaire that at some point they've not called him a scammer. And some of them is even their relative. I remember meeting somebody who is into oil business. He said one day he was telling his relative, he said, one day I'll be bringing vessels into Nigeria. He said the relative said, Oma Jali. In Yoruba, Oma Jali. In other words, you are so going to be a thief. You will still steal. Because, and the person said to him, in our entire lineage, have we even seen a vessel? Talk less of claiming you'll be bringing vessel. I mean, what are you talking about? Guess what? Today, I remember asking the person, I said, how many vessels have you brought into Nigeria containing refined petroleum product? He said he cannot count. Those average of 20 billion every year at some point. Dollars, not naira. That's the same person family member looked at and said, you will soon steal because you're too ambitious, you're dreaming too big. Look again at Jeff Bezos. I mean, Yes, but let's even go to Elon Musk, my favorite now, at the moment. Right? When Elon Musk started shouting electricals, all the car companies said, you met us here. Toyota said, you met Toyota here. Mercedes said, we have been on this. When did you start this car thing? And then you say you want to do electrical. Right? Even the things he's still talking about, as of 5 years ago, what's it called? Self-driving car was another argument he started. Right? That cars were going to be driving themselves. Right now, it's actually happening. Right? And everybody is now copying it. Right? And if you notice, every company he has there are always things that nobody has done. Okay, people are going to be going to Mars for vacation, right? The rocket that takes them will come back. All of those conversations are things that nobody has ever done. So, billionaires are goal setters, and they set goals that nobody, mark my word, has been able to achieve as at the time they are setting it.
Wow.
Nobody. And that's why it's easy for people to look at them and say, this person is a scammer. This person is shady. There's something about this person. You know, when he talks, there's something, right? There's something. All they are saying is that you are not normal. You're not talking like everybody else. Your goals are audacious. Your goals are ambitious. But guess what? That is how people build a multi-billion-dollar corporations. They don't do it by coming up with regular goals. They don't do it by talking like everybody else. They don't do it by coming up with goals that is like an average person. Right? They come up with goals that nobody can even dare to even think of, talk less of pursuit. But in that case, they don't just dream it, they pursue it. And I think that's also one critical thing I shared in the book, The Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs. The power of pursuit is very important. I shared a story in the book talking about a building, right? The first phase I'm into construction of any project we have is to do the 3D video. And then later we can go extra and then do what we call the model. It will be, on the table like this. It will show, it will be a replica of the house, right? But I shared in this book that imagine we just sit down and just continue to celebrate the 3D video and then the model, and never go to site to start digging foundation and start doing the dirty work of actually building. But we just sit down, we're looking at the designs. We will do it good. And that's what most people do. A lot of people will do their best to come up with goals, but they will never pursue it. They will never pursue it. Because what? Even the process of setting the goals at some point can become addictive, and you just enjoy having big dreams and fantasizing about big ideas, because the process of pursuit of that idea is more painful, more dirty, more rigorous, more taxing, and it comes with a lot of challenges, right? I'm building an estate in the US now, and we went for approval, and they were saying, okay, you know what? Well, the kind of design you have, you need to create another entrance, because you can't just have one entrance, you need to have like 2 or 3. Now I'm thinking, do I buy more land? How do I create a new entrance? So the process is
one in Richmond.
Yes, right.
Because I followed step by step.
So it's a different thing to dream it, but the process of now actualizing it will still come with a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of thinking, a lot of analyzing, a lot of sleepless nights. But guess what? If you pursue it, nothing can stop your dream. Nothing. And one of those that have shown me that is somebody most of you here don't like, Donald Trump. If Donald Trump can become a president, first of all, if the first 4 years he spent, it's a proof that if you pursue your dream, it will come. Because there's nobody that has too much baggage. In politics, I always say you should come clean. There's nobody that had so much baggage like Donald Trump. So much. I mean, what else will the guy be accused of that will convince people not to vote for him? And then looking at the way things are going, it's about to come back again. So it tells us again, whether you like him or not, it tells us again that if you can have a daring goal and then you pursue it, it will come to pass. Okay, who else wants to go? Next. Welcome, by the way. Yes. By the way, introduce yourself, tell us your name, what you do, and then yes, you can share. You can pick any of the books. We're just scanning through and then talking about what jumps at us in the book. Yeah.
So good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Adini Odedino. I'm a registered nurse. I work in critical care in Nottingham Queen's Medical Hospital. I am also an author. Unfortunately, I wanted to bring a copy of my book. I was living in a rush. I'm so sorry. If it's possible, I can send it to you if you are still in England.
No problem.
Okay. It's titled Clarity, Focus, and Productivity. So while going through this book, I said I'm big on habits and how things work, how to be more productive. One thing that stood out for me is in this page 83. It's titled...
Which book? Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Okay. 83.
Yeah. Business migration. And someone said something I listened to research. It's like most Africans, when we leave, say Nigerians, when we leave Nigeria, when we come to England, USA, Canada, anyway, we end up living in Nigeria, in England.
I've said it
in
before.
Nigeria, in Canada.
Yeah, I've said it
We do
before.
not really penetrate. We need to start thinking about penetration, ownership, as you said earlier, and penetration, domination, and all of that. And my question is, I've been in England for like 2.5 years now. It's easy over time, but not immediately you move to a new country.
Yeah.
But for you, I've been following you for some time now, right from the time. There was a time you used to do early mornings sessions on YouTube, and I saw that time you were in Dubai and you were quite loud there, you did audacious things there, now you're in the US. Just want to know what are the things that helps to collapse the time to get that done, to penetrate culture and to penetrate circles, to help you actualize what you want to do.
Well, good question. Business migration, that's a good conversation. I think the first thing will be not to conform. The challenge is that, like they always say, America will humble you, UK will humble you, basically Western world will humble you. And they're right? Because the system is very complex, the system is very complicated. But the first thing is to refuse to be compromised. Right? Because each time they're telling you it will humble you, what they are saying is that lower your dream, shut down your dream. This is America, this is UK. All those big daring dreams you brought from Nigeria or from Zambia, lower them now. Am I making sense at all?
Yeah.
So the idea for me is, yes, be realistic. Figure out a plan. Figure out, for example, you know what? I need to do a job for the next 2 years. Or I need to do a job for the next 5 years. But while I'm doing the job, here is how much I'm contributing every month towards that dream I came with. Am I making sense at all? Here's how much I'm contributing every month towards. Now, even if that means I will live below my means, which is usually the problem. Most of us don't want to live below our means. We want to live above our means. And why? Because they tell you, use the credit. Meanwhile, what should the credit really be used for? Investment. I have a challenge now where I'm invested heavily in the US and I'm having to pay more for houses in terms of mortgage because they are telling me I don't have credit. Because in the last 9 years, everything I've done in America, I refuse to collect a credit card. Right? I've always had to do cash with everything. So, meanwhile, it's good to do credit, but for assets, but for investment. So we come here and we're bothered. Instead of you to say, you know what, what's the big deal? I will manage to be a tenant for a while. And even if I qualify for a mortgage, I would rather go for a mortgage where my tenant will pay for the mortgage. Am I making sense at all? That way, I know that the kind of house I'm going for is a house that must pay for the mortgage from what tenant is paying and give me some little change. I'm not trying to impress anybody that I have my house in the UK. Because there is nobody I'm trying to impress. Am I making sense at all? Why is that important? Hear this, and I'll tell you why that is important. Do you know that an average mortgage, the first money you are paying for the first 7 years is actually just to pay the loan? You are not even paying on the principal. In other words, you've not even started paying for the house. You've just paid bank money for 7 years.
Interest.
Yes, it's just the bank. They will take their money first. Right? So, if your house cannot generate asset, now, again, the rule changes, like I said. For someone like me, I have to have certain lifestyle because it represents, else I will not be the one affecting the opportunities I'm supposed to have. Right? I'll give you an example. I try to attract investors doing millions of dollars with me. Right? So if you say, oh, Dr. Stevie, I'm in town, can I come to your house? Right? And then you saw me living in a 1-bedroom apartment. It has a way. Now, if it's a 1-bedroom apartment in the tallest building in the world, well, you won't mind. So his family is not living with him here, so it makes sense. But if it's just a 1-bedroom, just in a normal neighborhood, now, even if you are thought of, even if you will not do the investment, instead of doing $1 million, you say, you know what, let's start with $50,000 and let's just see. But I'm saying at the general level, when it's not as if you are like me, who is selling multi-million-dollar property, right? And you just are living your life. There is no point trying, okay, to go overboard. When some of these things, I tell people, always see house as a form of cash flow, including the one you intend to live in. Because I would prefer a situation whereby I buy the right kind of house, I rent it out, and it's in a location, even though I don't like that location, but it's in a location where the rent is good. E.g., I've had people say to me, Dr. Stephen, here in the UK, why not buy property outskirts of London? And they give me names of locations that nobody knows. Okay? And the excuse is that the house you buy here in London for £700,000, you can get the same house for £150,000 in so place. And then my answer to them is, but how much is rent in the so place? I have a friend here in London who was staying in Canary Wharf. His apartment, he was paying £12,000 every month as rent. Ridiculous rent. Ridiculous rent. Now calculate it, let's even assume, and I think he was telling me the house, if he were to buy it, even though he now later went to buy another house. But if he was to buy it, maybe the house was, let's say, £2 million. You know, but guys, do the math. I bought a house for £2 million, right? Because it's a tower service kind of house. But I bought it £2 million, 3-bedroom, but well done, penthouse kind of, those kind of 4-bedroom penthouse. But let's even say £2.5 million, right? Remember, I only dropped 30%, isn't it? I got mortgage. And then I got loan for the remaining what? 70%. Is this making sense? Now, in a year, 12,000 multiplied by what? By 12, how much does that give us?
144.
144. 44,000, guys. And 10 years from now, do you see? I've gotten 50% of my money back, cash. Now, the value of that property that I bought for £2.5 million will have been worth maybe £4 million. Do you see the kind of money I've made? Now, if you look at loan to value ratio in terms of what I actually contributed, I have gotten more than 100% of my money back in 10 years. Because remember, I dropped 30%. And I got... Are we learning here? So, but again, it goes back to a lot of mentality that need to shift, right? When you're in this part of the world. But the beginning is for you is to say, every month, if this my dream that I brought, right, to own things in this part of the world, to build wealth in this part of the world, will come to pass. And I'm not like Dr. Steve, because again, not everybody's like me, right? I could afford to go anywhere in the world and start my business with minimum $1 million, minimum, because I've built something big from where I'm coming from. Am I making so? Don't copy me. No, but it's good to say, because a lot of young people admire me a lot on social media, and they are not being realistic as to where am I versus where they are. I mean, I've put in 16 years in this company. 16 years of carrying the same company name everywhere. 16 years. Been doing business for over 25 years. Right? So, total different ballgame. But at the lower level is to say, okay, yes, maybe I need to get a job. But while at that job, every month I'm saving £500, I don't know how much is your income, £1,000 towards the real goal that I have, because I don't want to keep working for the rest of my life. I've seen people here, guys, let's be honest, in their 60s, in their 70s, and you just live in council houses, and they've worked all their life here in the UK.
To be honest, the way this place is structured, if you're not careful, you're just gonna go that way.
Yeah.
Somebody like me, I tried so much to make sure I'm here today. I've been following you for a while, but if you're not careful, you just end, because the way it starts, you need to regularize your stay. That takes you ages to do that. Those dreams you came with, you're gonna drop them in the process of trying to regularize your stay. You're gonna drop them.
Yeah.
Before you set yourself up and start assessing finances and stuff like that, you'll be now asking, what am I gonna invest on now? Because that idea, when I was coming, I was like, oh, I like kids and children stuff. So I had in mind that staying here, I'm gonna open a luxurious supermarket for kids and all that. But by the time you came in, oh my God, stay 1 year, 2 years, begin to understand what the place is like. You just forget about those dreams. You can't remember them again.
I think it differs from persons to persons, because many of us we come into Western world at a different phase, you know.
Right.
And the people that bothered me most are people who came in at a point where what they came with, they could have been entrepreneurs, but they just conform. Everybody just told them, you know, this is it, you know, be careful, don't deceive yourself, right? I'll give you a practical example. Every country I've had to go to expand my business, do you know what I did? I made sure I started as an entrepreneur before I regularized any of my stay. All he meant was I was going to pay more. I don't know how you understand. So it meant that if I was supposed to buy this house and my down payment could have been 5% or 10% because I'm a permanent resident. Now, because I'm not a permanent resident, maybe I need to bring 30%. Maybe I need to bring 50%. Am I making sense at all? But guess what? It eventually still worked in my benefit, because it meant I now had more equity in the asset. I don't know whether you get my point.
Yes.
But what most people are told is, forget what you have, what you are coming with. Just regularize. Just start taking debts. Enter the system, right? And then before you know it, you are not producing anything from this part of the world. You are not investing in anything from this part of the world. Because do we know, how many of you know, will agree with me that there are people who relocated to the UK, and from where they were coming from, they had at least £200,000 cash
Yeah, there are few people
that they came to this part with.
It's possible.
But rather than take, let's say, £100,000, commit it towards a property, right? And just buy it as though you're a foreigner who is what? Investing. And that makes sense to talk, because now you need to drop more equity. That's just what it means, though. Because whether you're a permanent resident or not, you can buy property.
Can I say something?
Right? No, let me finish. Whether you are permanent resident or not, you can buy property. Right? I don't live here, but I have investments here. Right? But people don't get to start those things early, because you are busy with, can I settle down? So what's happening is that in that 1 year I'm trying to settle down, I'm burning that 200,000. In 1 year's time, the entire 200,000 is gone. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this, right? And now, even to now get the kind of job that I deserve, I can't get it. Now, I used to run this big oil business. If I met someone in Manchester who was complaining the same thing. She had trucks, she was doing all business. She was saying, my pastor kept telling me, what are you going to the UK for? Here are you supplying oils to big companies, multinationals. You don't even need cash. She had a bank that was loaning her money to buy any, if she gets a demand for supply, even if it's worth $1 million, they were giving her the money. They said, no, I have to move to the UK. My children, move to the UK. Right? Now, the business she left back at home, of course, they ran it to the ground. Of course, you know, right? Here, now, everybody says she has to go and become a nurse. I mean, for Christ's sake.
That is our bro.
You know, I mean, not even about that. The issue is not the profession. The issue is I have never had flair. Our first degree was in engineering. You know, and then I want to be a nurse. It's not even, there's no flair. And looking at it now, she has some regret to say, maybe I shouldn't have done it. And those are my own argument that if you have had mentorship, because this thing is all about mentorship.
Yes, sir.
Right? If you have had mentorship, she still could have relocated. Am I making sense at all? But would have done it in a proper way. E.g., like the one I know, is she could have moved a good number of that money, which would have worth millions of pounds, into investing into cash producing real estate asset here in the UK. Am I making sense at all? And she comes in from day one, I'm coming to the UK to do real estate business. Right? I'll be buying properties that I'll put tenants, and the tenant is generating what? Cash flow for me. Right? But again, if you don't have the training, even if you have the funds, you will still not be where you need to be.
But I think even if you have the trainings without the funds, because from where you're coming from and your examples, these guys are coming with bags of money. And if there are 100 people that came into this country, probably just about 10 that had that kind of money you're talking about. The rest are coming in to look for a way to sustain life.
Yeah, I mentioned that because you came late. We already addressed that. That's why I'm now addressing these people. I'd address people who didn't come with money, isn't it? And I said that, you know, when it comes to investment, I talked about in the Billionaire Habits book, investment you can never scale your investment with your own money. I don't care how much money you have. So even the woman, she came here, let's assume she came here with £1 million. Okay, how much will £1 million do? You need to scale it. But what that will do is I can take an investor to my £1 million property and say, see what I've done with it. We talked about that, isn't it? And then more people will give you more money. And then we said that for those who don't even have any money at all, where you start is the knowledge, is the training. The problem is that we come into this part of the world and we don't want to go for training. There's a guy called Samuel Leeds here in the UK. He teaches on real estate. I've heard so much about him. And I've had several people say, I go for this guy's training, very down to earth, breaks down how the UK real estate works. And then some of them will say, and probably myself and 2 other people were the only blacks. You know why? The training was £8,000. Or the training was £2,000. Why will I pay? For what? Well, I will not pay £2,000 to go and learn how I can become a multi-millionaire here in the UK. But guess what? I will still dash the £2,000 to an immigration guy that will scam me. Okay? And the reason you say he scammed you is because you really did not even qualify for what you are applying for. Right? There is a level of asset you have in this part of the world that there's no way they will not give you a permanent stay if they look at what you're doing. Because when you are filing, they ask you all these things. Am I making sense at all? Yeah. When you are filing for anything, they ask you all these questions. I don't like people coming late for my training, but you're welcome. Right? So, because they ask you all these questions, right? When you're filing for anything, where do you work? What do you do? What asset do you have? Right? And then they are looking at you, and I keep saying this, even these people just want to add value to them. You know, and there was a video, I think it was a pastor sharing this, and I agree with him 100%. When the UK opened their border, come and do your masters. Everybody thought they were Father Christmas. No, they were not Father Christmas. Number one, they needed money. The universities post-COVID, right? And most people don't know that the entire UK is built around the university system. That's why every city in the UK has 1 or 2 universities. Some even have 3 universities. So it's built around, London, for example, is built around the universities.
right? That's what keep bringing people in. And COVID had just literally almost shut all of that out. So the universities were struggling. They needed cash. Some of them were going to shut down, right? So first thing, you are injecting cash into the university system, because average person was coming, £30,000 was what they were coming to come and do masters, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you think they were forgetful when they incentivized you to say, come with your family and children? And then you can use that process to they knew what they were doing. Second problem they had, COVID mixed with Brexit also meant that there was no cheap labor. The economy was almost shutting down. It was almost shutting down. Most of our people who just finished masters here, how much is with the jobs they've gotten, how much are they paying? Is it not still 2,500, £2,500, £3,000 at the highest? So, in reality, they knew even with your masters, you will still be willing to do cheaper, smaller works that a lot of their citizens are too lazy to do. Right? And at least you are more ambitious, and that way the economy is being kicked up again. I don't know whether this makes sense. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would like to have a response. My name is I'm Julius Olukunle.
What do you do?
Yes, I have a business of my own.
Okay.
The name of my company is Priceworth UK Limited.
What do you do?
So I'm a trader.
Okay.
I trade into imported goods.
Okay.
And I still work as well. I work as a social market researcher as well.
Okay.
And you said so much today, sir, so that I wish that a lot of us can really grab, but I was one of those that followed you, so I have picked a lot of things. So all that you are saying is just an icing. Yeah. I've been in this country for a while, so a lot of things that you have said we related to it. But one of the best things I will pick from here, sir, that you have said that I would like us to go with there is this. When I got to the country, I entered into a wrong setting. If you're in the setting of cleaner, you will clean.
Yes. Preach it.
That is how it is.
Preach it.
So when I got in, the first fear I put to people was, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? So it was really a setback.
Yeah.
And there was a threat to push me out of the house.
Wow.
Because I don't know where to go, so I have to calm down.
Yeah.
And that cost me years.
Yeah.
But I still manage. Either whatever you have, I registered my company. 2 years I got to this company. Into this country. I registered the company, I have an account and everything. So there are leverages. The most important thing is, are you ready to pay professionals for what you are looking for? I missed that opportunity. You must be willing to pay. Yeah. Because that is the top notch. Yeah. Number two, the association is the key. I am here because of, I've not met you, sir, but I've read, I've listened to a lot of your podcasts. I followed you when you went to America, when Bishop Abioye was there, you know those. Yeah, because I have a desired future. So I need to do everything to punch to get to that vision. If I traveled from Ireland yesterday night to make sure I didn't miss this. So yeah, so that is how it is. If you're hungry for it, you go for it. So one of the things in this one, becoming a billionaire, land on a page, the topic, the chapter is chapter 5, and that is chapter 5, but I want to ask...
what page?
Page 35, I think. Yeah, 35.
Yeah.
Use evidence of your property purchase to attract the OPM, which is other people's money. Yeah. When I first got in touch with one of your friends, and you said, no matter the level you are, I don't know which of your interviews starts. And I got everything. I went to Nigeria. I look at it, where can I start? I'm a Lagos boy. So I said, I can't stay here. So I visited a friend along the Babel Expressway. And he said, oh, there is a place that's selling things. I didn't close. I know I got it. And one of the things you said, don't buy one plot. So I got 3 acres. Wow. That was 2020, immediately post-COVID. Yeah. So I went there because the business I was trying to do, that I invested so much on, because there's no mentor, about £60,000 went down the drain. Wow. So no mentor, nobody to guide you. I still remain in the same circle of my friends. So I'm the only one that is raising my head. So it's draw me down, but I won't give up. So I bought the 3 acres, then I continued to. Then there was a program you did in Dubai. I wanted to come over, but because of work engagement, I still couldn't make it.
Dunamis.
No, sir.
So that was that. So I wanted to know, because beyond that now, I've been to Nigeria twice this year, and I got another section, which is my question, sir. When will I begin to attract the external investors? Because I have a goal, I have a purpose, I have a plan. So in the Chagamu interchange, I have last year I got 5 acres, then went to Nigeria last month, this is July now, I went May. So I wanted to open it, but one of the things you said is, make sure you understand the locality. So I didn't open the land up, so I was waiting to know if there are other people that will sell more land. Because if I open it up, the people that own the land, they will take advantage of my opening it up. So I went to Nigeria and I heard that, they want to sell an additional adjoining 2 acres. So even though I don't have much money, but because I know where I'm going, I bought the 2 acres. So now I'm back here. I just came back a few weeks ago. I'm not thinking of here again. Maybe because I have everything needed. But my thinking is Nigeria. People are coming here, but me, I'm thinking more there. So now I have 3 acres, I have 7 acres together. 7 acres together, 3 acres together in the same local government. So I have a standard I'm trying to, because Lagos Island, Lekki is, to me, is high cost ending. So I'm thinking, okay, fine. Not everybody can buy Lekki 25 million, 30 million. I tried to deposit for Jasper, so I said I will come to that. So then I got to this level now I am, sir. How do I leverage? Should I present my plan? I have invested money into the plot of land, and I have my building idea, but I'm targeting, because of the locality, I'm targeting low and medium cost house building. So it's not selling the land. I'm thinking of buildings, maybe 3-bedroom mansionette for the medium cost houses, and maybe 2-bedroom for the low cost houses.
To rent or sell?
It's both ways. It's going to be some for rent, some for sales. But I'm trying to leverage on the industrial hub of that area.
Lagos Ibadan.
Yeah, and that interchange, we have Nestle, we have international breweries, big companies. So I want to leverage their cooperative, incorporate it to my plan, and look at the FMB, Federal Mortgage Bank. So at what point, sir? Maybe we may not exhaust that.
Yeah,
like you said, OPM, other people's money, sir. So
yeah, beautiful question. I mean, you're right. I mean, in fact, incidentally, that's the same page I wanted to talk about in the book.
okay.
Yes, if you notice, I folded it on the same thing. It was this same conversation that ultimately, and that's my argument about becoming an entrepreneur. It is other people's money you can use to grow business. There's nothing you can do. Even if you start a business today with $5 million, $5 million cannot remain the only size of the business. You have to constantly keep growing the business. So you will keep needing money, keep needing funds, keep needing investment. That's just normal to entrepreneurship and business. So how do you now begin to attract other people's money? The first thing is to have a grand vision about the dream. So, like I talked earlier about, that all these billionaires have like impossible goals, right? Nobody will start putting their money into average goals. Nobody. But when you have these goals that are daring, what is, for example, yes, it's 7 acre and 3 acre you have now, but what's the long-term goal? Share that 50-year goal plan, 30-year goal plan. When I started real estate, I had a vision 2035.
right? And the goal was that we're going to build 25,000 green and smart homes. They were going to be smart and they were going to be green. I had never seen anybody say they were doing that, right? It's either they were doing green home or they were doing smart home. But to combine the two, I was the first. And the vision was even bigger than that. We're going to be putting golf courses in some polo club, hospital, it was grand. And then I started sharing it. Of course, like I shared on Instagram this morning, you risk people mocking you. Because particularly those who know you. Like, okay, he says he wants to do. He does not, even his house. Is his own house green and smart? People will start like, what nonsense is he talking about? These things are not realistic. But as long as you can overcome managing those who have known you, those who are ready to mock you and make fun of you, and just keep focusing. What you notice, some of your first set of investors may just be meeting for the first time. Because they don't know your background, right? They like the idea, they like the story, and that's why you must be willing to be vulnerable. All of you now, I'm seeing you for the first time today. Am I making sense at all? But I had thought of you before seeing you. Does it make sense at all? I've thought of adding value to you before seeing you. It may not turn out that some of you will not eventually invest in my business later or not, but the first thing is that I needed to, think of you. I needed to be willing to add value to your life and add it at the highest level, even if you are not paying me.
May I make a suggestion to this man's thing?
Let me finish.
Sorry.
I'm the teacher.
No.
You're too much in a hurry.
No, just that.
So let me finish. So it's important to know that that's the mindset. So here am I, disturbing myself to come to London, do a training, get a venue for you guys. When we're done now, the refreshments you guys are free to take, and you're not paying me a dime. Of course, I still have a paid training later in the week, but some of you may not even be able to afford it. But that's the mindset of attracting other people's money, because some of you may never be able to buy what I sell, but you go and tell somebody else that may now end up doing business for you. So you have to think of a bigger idea and just keep sharing, because you don't know which one. Just like the parable of the seed, some will fall in thorns, some will fall on good soil, some will fall on bad soil, but get the grand idea, so that whether someone can afford or people will say this is a novel concept that this man has come up with. Number 2, get training. I had to go to Harvard University when I looked at how big what I wanted to do in the US is. I had to do a 2-year course with Harvard University. I had to pay a man called Grant Cardone over $200,000. Right? $200,000 just for mentorship. Yes, one man, not God. Man.
Was it worth it?
I would do if it's not worth it. I had known it was worth it before I even did it. Right? And just like he said, in the western part of the world, the biggest weakness and mistake of people of color, we are not ready to pay for quality service. We're used to the fact that we came from a part of the world where things can be done based on relationship. My brother, I support your brother, give me something. Right? So we're in a part of the world where they're not going to do that. £20. The guy may be worth £2 million, but £20 to give you for free, he will say, what value are you bringing to the table for the £20 you've asked for? Am I making sense at all? Yes, so because we then carry the mentality of just wanting things free, so we're not paying for trainings, we're not paying for mentorship. So like even you now, you can't do that without a mentorship. Right? So well, go and register for Saturday and Sunday training, because this is a meet and greet. Right? The Saturday and Sunday training is a more detailed. She was in one of our real estate training, and she can tell you how it was. You know, I think that's even why she wanted to interject, and I'll allow you to address it shortly. Right? It's very intense, very deep. But when you go through those kind of training, now you will have the answers to all of these things. Because even the training itself is a bragging right. I want to do something, I want to build a portfolio worth $5 billion in the US in the next 5 to 10 years. If I can't get a mentor that has done it, then I'm deceiving myself. That's why I went for Grant Cardone. Because he currently controls a portfolio of over $5 billion in the same US. So he knows what I need to know. The relationship is critical. I still went for his training in March and paid for the VIP class $25,000. And then paid for next year on. And this year ahead. Because I got this car if I was paying ahead. But for me, it was a case of, I'm going this direction. There's somebody that's gone there. If the man puts saliva on the floor and asks him to lick it, if that is the secret to controlling $5 billion worth of really, I would do the same. Because success leaves clue. Just find somebody who has done it, follow their full blueprint, and you replicate it. The only rule is that they are not going to mentor you for free. As long as you come up with the mindset of, I'm ready to pay whatever this person wants me to pay to know what they know. I promise you, you will not just know what they know. Hear this. You will get to where they are faster. Not just get there, faster. That's the only shortcut. Because they obviously made mistakes. And because you have them in your corner, they say, no, avoid that one. Right? You don't even know the mistakes you've made now on the land you bought. If you had a mentor before you buy the land, is when we start sessions. I say, you should have done this one. Well, on next one, I will carry out. Am I making sense with it? But guess what? Those were mistakes I made. For example, I wasn't strategic in picking locations for land. You won't believe it, until 5 years doing real estate. Now, my own mentees now, they are buying the most strategic location because I'm telling you, this is what you look out for, this is what you look out for, this is what you look out for. Now, obviously, they are growing faster than I am. What took me 5 years, they are doing it in 6 months. Right? And that's really what is missing in the people of color entrepreneurship ecosystem. We want mentorship for free. It doesn't work that way. You can't expect me to leave my billionaire corporation and then sit with you when my own CEOs are looking for me to ask me for ideas about how they will run the company I gave them. Then you want me to sit down with you and give you ideas for free. Right? Good evening. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Please have yourself. Right? So that's oftentimes where we miss it. I don't know whether this makes sense. That's where we're missing it. So sometimes some of us don't even know we've made mistake until 5 years later. Say, I bought the wrong land. I bought this, I did this. And by that time, sometimes we've exhausted the liquidity and everything. Number two, even the mentorship relationship is also what gives you the credibility for other people's money. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because sometimes people are saying, okay, they will ask you those questions. So you just started this business, you want me to invest. Did you study real estate? Say, no. There's this man, Stephen Akintayo, I watch his videos. Okay. This Stephen Akintayo, so, is he mentoring you? Is he? Say, not yet. The man is expensive, but I can't afford him. But I'm watching his video.
Excuse me.
I said, okay. No problem. Nobody thinks you have anything. Okay. Are we together?
Yes.
So they are going to be in their mind looking and say, okay, if it's me, I can assure you I won't invest. Because first of all, this wasn't like this was your course of study, you know, and then you're asking me to come and put my money into a business you're starting. It's not like there's once you really studied it. You've never done it before. It's not like you have a mentor who is more successful, that I've seen you with him in, you know, different times, and I mean, I know he's on your corner. Am I making sense at all? And I can say, okay, well, I may not trust this guy, but I know this guy, right? And I know this guy is a man of integrity. He doesn't do bullshit, right? And if you will pick on this man to mentor him, he must be putting the right values in him. I'm going to take that risk. Not even on the guy, but on his mentor. Is this making sense at all? So I have enjoyed those kind of things. I've had a situation where somebody told me one time, said, I went to Dr. Cosmos Maduka's house and he was talking about you. And I just called your office. It was that time I was even telling me, just call your office, and I invested over 100 million. Do you see now? Now, I didn't even know. But just based on what my mentor was saying, I'm sure even my mentor did not know that the guy probably know about me. But just because, you know, all these young people, there's one young man that, you know, have been close to me recently. He's doing this, I'm proud of what he's doing. Right? The guy will live there and say, because of his mentor.
I can trust him.
Right? And for this person to be saying this much about this guy, I may have not trusted before, I may have my doubts, but this person, I know he's not going to talk like this if he doesn't have his facts. So I'm going to invest. So those are part of how we access OPM, is the fact that even the mentorship relationship we're building is also adding credibility to what we're doing as well. It's helping people to be able to trust us more, right? Because they know the caliber of people that we're associating with. We have a conference in August, and I encourage you to be part of it. If you can come to the US, please do. If you can't join the virtual one, Dr. Cosmos Maduka will be there physically. John Maxwell has confirmed. Les Brown, you know, a lot of great people, right? Traveling all the way. Right? But guess what? It's not for free. I don't need to tell you how much. Okay? It's not for free. But it also keeps helping the brand. So in that kind of class now, somebody may not know me. It just maybe he even came because of the John Maxwell. Right? Dr. Maxwell is saying, hey, I've known Stephen for a few years now. I've spoken for him several times. I love what he's doing. I'm proud of him. But he said, you know what? Because of John Maxwell, right? GTEx take $2 million.
Thank you, sir. That was deep. That was, yeah, because I know Senior Maduka follow you all over, because you know, when you follow each other, I saw his name, and I know the man cherish mentorship a lot. So, well, I may start late, but I know it's never late.
No, it's never. It's never. I mean, I will encourage you this Saturday and Sunday.
I'll not send the links.
I will send it to you. It's here. In fact, I will take you to my presidential suite after some session. We eat together. It's 2 days with me. We are doing 6 hours every day, and we're breaking. And I'm bringing a lot of my friends and partners here in the UK. So because I'm looking for people. Now, here's the issue with real estate investment here in the UK. Finding the perfect deal is the problem. Okay, so for example, when we're trying to invest, either we're looking for land or we're looking for lots. A house may be on, you know, it may be an old abandoned house, and then we're taking over and then we're refurbishing it, right? Now, we're always looking for something with a permit. With a planning permit. And it's difficult to get if you're not based here.
Yes,
right?
sir, because most of the buildings are graded.
Yes.
And when they are graded, you can't do the facial modification.
Yeah.
So you have
But
to maintain,
you that you are
you
here,
have to maintain, yeah.
but you that you're here, you can go look for those deals for me,
That's right, sir.
right? And you can come and say, hey, I just got this deal. It already has a permit, but we need to pay £3 million for the land, right? Now, I have people who come this Saturday and Sunday. We share with you. If you give me this deal, we will bring in 70% of the money. We will get you 80% of the money, right? Now, some of you say, but even 20% of 3 million I don't have. That's where I come in. I'm willing to partner with you on that. So you can just do maybe whatever, let's say, what's the 20% of 3 million? 600,000 pounds, right? You can say all I have I can bring is 50,000 pounds. I'll bring the remaining 550,000 pounds. We get the institutional funding for the rest, and we get the property, right? And that helps you. A partner is a partner. Nobody needs to know what you brought into the table. Am I making sense at all? And at the end of that deal, you get your cut, but not the cut that is important. The training, the exposure, the reference. To say, I'm an investor in that project we did in Southeast London. We did 8 units of. Do you see how you now start attracting investors? Because when you can show investors and take them there and say, I'm an investor in that project. I'm doing another new project. And for this one, I need X. If you invest X, I'll be giving you X every month. I met a Jewish guy here in the UK. Stinkingly rich. Of course, doesn't look like it, right? I mean, this is one of those guys we use for hard money here. If I need 20 million pounds cash, this guy will give me. Jewish guy. But guess what? It's not his money, right? All the other Jewish guys invest with him, and he gives them 1% every month. That's 12% in a year. Right? In fact, no, not even 1%, 0.8% every month. So I remember telling him, I said, that's too low for my Nigerians. Because they even give me some Nigerian investors. I'll give them 0.8. I said, they will say it's too low. He said, but if it's higher than that, that's Ponzi scheme. I said, I know. But they won't listen to me. Nigerians want. I said, my African people, they want big money. They don't care whether it's Ponzi scheme or not. Just promise them a higher return. He said, but that's why they are scammed. I said, yes, I know, but I've been telling them too. They just don't want to listen to me. But my point raising that is to show you how wealth is created. It's not your money. So how does that Jewish guy convince all these other investors to? He shows them the deals is done. Oh, we get this money from you, we put it into this, we make average of this, out of what we make, we're paying you this. And once it makes sense to the average investor, they will invest with you. That's the same reason people invest with me. They see me every day with my project, they see me launching this, launching that, ahead of this, talking to investors. There's nothing secret about it.
0.8.
Right?
12 is 9.6. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a good one. It's a good return.
It's a good return.
It's a very good. It's a good.
That's a lot.
It's a very good return, but a lot of people will tell you it's too low, right? But that's a lot in this part of the world. It's a lot. It's a good one. You ain't getting that from. You ain't getting that from any bank. No bank is going to give you that.
It's good money.
Yeah, no bank is going to give you that. So that's a good, very good one. But again, that's why mentorship is important. So I take the last question. I will sign the books for those of you who are getting it. It's $47 on Amazon. And that should be about 30-something pounds. I think 38 or 30-something pounds. But I give you discount. You can have each one for 30 pounds. If you're getting the 5, I'll be giving you for 120 pounds. And then giving you 2 bonuses if you're getting the 5. You will also get, I have a university called the Civil University where all my courses, right, over 1,000 courses are there, right, on subjects like real estate, e-commerce,
cryptocurrency, forex, name it, they're all there. But not just that, I had to get people like John Maxwell, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. All of them did special courses for you guys also on that platform, right? So you are able to take a course, you do a quiz, and you get certificate for every course, that you do on the platform. And it's $247 every month on that platform. But if you're getting the 5 books, you're getting 1 month access to the platform for free. That's one of the bonus I'm giving those of you getting 5 books. Second bonus I'm giving those getting 5 books is access to the audio and the video version. We have some of them masterclass for each of the books, and as well as audio, because I know most people don't like reading, right? If it's paper reading, they prefer audio. You put it in your car, it's on your phone and things like that. So you will also, but that's only for those, because we sell the audio separately. It's even more expensive than the physical one, and then the physical copies. But you'll be getting the audio and video for free if you're getting all the 5 books. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I'll be signing and we'll take pictures. So I'll take one question.
Sorry, sir. I'm sorry for coming. I did not bring thought it that way, that because of the traffic, so I couldn't make it earlier. I'm sorry for that, sir.
No problem.
I really appreciate, because I've been following you since last year, sir, and because of your, via YouTube and Instagram, and that's what made me to take a close step. Was not last year, around last year, September, I bought a piece of land around Agbara area, worth of like 6 million naira. But as I'm talking to you now, it's worth of 12 million naira. But on that land, my plan that I'm trying to, up to now, I'm trying to build like 6 flats. Although I've not completed it, but with like 5 shops, because of the strategic area. That because you talk of that, whenever you are buying land, you should make sure that it's a place that that you can make money, and the land will appreciate over time. And I really appreciate you for that, sir. I think God is using you for our generation, because it's a great privilege, sir. And then the second question I want to ask, because...
So what's your question on the first one?
The first question is that, because now I've already did the decking for because I do 6 flats. 2 bedroom flats separate, and 2 bedroom flats, 2 up, 2 down. But now I've not completed it. But the money that I want to get out now to be able to complete it, like I'm trying to, the question that I want to ask that, can I stop the project and invest the money that I want to use it, like about 10,000 pounds? Can I stop the project and invest the money? Then maybe after the money is, maybe I get some interest in it, then I can continue on the project. Or can I continue the project and still invest the money that I...
What do you want to invest in?
Maybe on the, because you are talking of the Jasper, that maybe some 10,000, minimum of $10,000.
Okay,
yes.
In terms of our US project?
Yes.
Okay.
So, or I should invest it there and continue the project, or should I stop the project for now and then invest the money on the...
Well, I'm biased. It's my project you want to invest in. So what do you expect me to tell you? What do you expect me to tell you? Of course, I'll tell you to invest in my project. But I've always argued that you need to finish one thing before you jump into another, so that there's a level of focus, right? Else your mind will be scattered everywhere. So you are doing a project back at home, you're doing this one, you're doing this one, you're doing this one. So you don't want to be too scattered. Okay. The only reason why you might want to pause it and then do maybe something else, would be if the area is not necessarily an area where even if you finish it today, you can easily get tenants, and there's a guarantee of good returns. Because that's also another issue I teach, because some of you will take half of what I teach and not get all. That even when you do rental property, my argument is that you need to do it in the right locations. Are we together now?
Yes, sir.
Certain locations attract poor tenants who will default on their rental bills and then waste the entire investment. And then one day you say, Dr. Stevens, what he's teaching is not real, because that's how I put all my money. I did something in Agbara, and at the end of the day, I'm not getting anything. But you didn't hear me true, okay? When you do rental projects, you have to look at the location of that rental project. I would rather put my money and pay more in an estate environment, even though it will cost me more to build the houses in an estate. But guess what? Because it's an estate structure, are you getting what I'm saying? It's more structured in a way that the caliber of clients we will attract, the caliber of tenants are the ones that can pay. But imagine I just go to a suburb of anywhere and I build. The caliber of tenant I will attract. Is it making sense at all? Will be those type of tenants that will not pay me for 3 years. And if I like, I should take them to court. Everybody is dragging themselves. And I look back and I'm saying, what a waste. So, yes, it's good to go back home and do investment. But you must get mentorship so that you know the right places to invest in, the right environment, the right location, so that you don't do all of that. And at the end of the day, and I've seen so many people who have lost so much money. Because even the tenant, even not only did they owe, they messed the house up, spoiled the windows, spoiled the electric, just create a lot of mess. And the house my mother left because of the location, literally the money that comes in from tenants, we just use it to fix the house. There's no profit because of the location. But if that same money I used to build in an estate, even if that estate is in Ibejuleki, because it's an estate, it's Dangote refinery workers that will start living there. You see now, because it's an estate. It's all these companies, top high-end staff that will be living there. And in some cases, it's the company that is even paying the rent on behalf of their staff. So my rent is guaranteed. Right? Make sense?
Yes, and second, sorry sir, this is the last question. The second question is, does it worth it for someone to collect a loan for investment? Absolutely,
okay. If it's a good investment, but please again get mentorship. I always insist, get an investment mentor. Right? Investment is too critical for you not to have a mentor. If you don't have someone you can call and say, Dr. Stephen, I have this £100,000. This is what I want to do. Can I go ahead? Then you don't have a mentorship. Right? Mentorship is not just you watch my video. That one, I'm a role model. I don't know that you understand. Real mentorship creates access because you're part of a program, right? And that program affords you the opportunity to ask questions directly, customize questions to your own needs. But does it make sense at all? Yes. Because it's difficult to answer some of these questions, except I'm in your life to a level, so I'm able to answer you a lot of questions, and those questions help me to know your unique situation, and I can then guide you based on your unique situation. So I can just say, go and take a loan for investment. What investment are you even putting the loan into? What is the return promised on the investment? What if you took the loan and then what you're actually about to invest is a Ponzi scheme, and then you lose the entire money, and then the bank is chasing you, and then again you say, it's my mentor. You even answer, I'm your mentor, when in reality I'm not a mentor. It's my mentor that says, yes, take a loan for investment. I took a loan for investment. And see what's happening to me. So please, some of these answers
is yes, but it's a conditional yes, because it's based on the situations around the investment, the type of, I'm taking loan, of course, right? By the end of this year, the loan I will have taken in US for my investments will not be less than $50 million. Okay, for my US investments alone. So yeah, but those are properly structured, calculated, investments. Yes, you are the final person.
Thank you, sir.
So that I can sign the books for others and we take pictures as well.
And then it ends, the meeting ends.
Yes.
She wants to remember.
Please. Do we take our ladies first? Yes, let's take you.
Okay.
And then we'll
Good
take you.
evening, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity, Doctor. I will not say much, but there are two things I want to emphasize. You have identified the problems, and I look at other races that have come to England. Usually the Indians came and they counted pennies in their shops. But their children were better off than them.
True.
So right now, our own people came and they're hardworking. Sometimes they have more than 2 jobs. Sometimes they have up to 4. And I'm proud of our people. I'm talking about Nigerians. I'm not talking about other people I don't know, but the ones I do know, like Nigerians. I'm very proud of what they have achieved so far. But they could have done better, as you have rightly said. Now, I was on Instagram at 3 a.m. this morning, and I noticed, because there's a high cost of food here in England, especially after the pandemic, not as high as Nigeria, of course, but, then I saw a midnight market that a certain Asian country has established where they sell rock bottom price food. And I was like, and it came on at 3 a.m. Not many people will be awake by then. So my no question, it's just that my point is, we, especially our children here, I don't have children, fortunately, yet. I believe there's still hope in that area, but the children of our people are being, they don't have the mentality of someone that, their parents that came from Nigeria, whose main this thing was to just come here so that their children will get the better education or better opportunities, etc. Now, what I would like to ask, is it possible for us to target these children? Because the young shall surely grow. Is it a good idea to maybe go to schools or churches and target youths? The youths, I say youths are from teenager to 35, 40, 35. What do you think of that idea? That's one question I have. The second question is, are you looking for apart from the opportunities here, you have mentioned all the offers for, I don't know how to put it, other people's money that's do you have any need for like a person like me, because I have free time right now, I'm studying for IT, higher level IT. Do you have any gap in the, not gap or opportunities, apart from investment, opportunities that you wish someone to fill on this side of
So you mean like a job opportunity on a part-time or volunteer basis, I guess?
something like that?
Yeah. Okay, well, to your first question, yes, I think it's a good idea to focus on young people and try and see how we can invest in them. Our youth needs to be taught how to prioritize investment, build wealth. So it's a good idea. Going to schools, going to churches, and I think it's a good idea. Absolutely. it's a fantastic.
Our youth are misled. I'm not misled. That's a bad word, but they are not. Prioritized. I don't know how to put it. They are not. Their vision has fallen.
Yeah, but you're right. Somebody has to do something. So maybe God is calling in that direction. So hear the call of the Lord and do something.
Yeah. Okay, that's
and,
you know.
And then to your second question.
Yeah.
At the moment, no. I have a lot of. I'm blessed with a lot of volunteer people. He's one of them. He's probably the oldest, 9 years ago or something.
Since 2017.
2017. 2017. So if 2017 till now, so that's like 7 years. Okay, so I've had a lot of great hands, and we have like a pool of people like that who volunteer when I have stuff. They're always around. They're always.
I've registered to be an agent of sales.
Beautiful. That's good. So yeah, those ones are there, and for now, that's where we are on things.
Well, one last question from me. Your sales agents, who is the best of the best? And why do
ask Mr. Goke? He's the one that can answer that question, because we don't have like the best of the best. We have like a group of the best, right? So.
And what do they do? One or two things you could suggest?
Ask okay. He's better because the program you are in, they can mentor you actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so he can link you up one of them to put you through, and each individual will have to tell you what they're doing to be among the best. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'm Dr. Japheth Omaye.
Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from Kogi State in Nigeria.
What do you do?
I do many things, but principally I'm a consultant. Yeah, I'm an independent consultant. No, in social works.
Okay.
I do social work. I'm not a medical doctor.
Okay.
So my PhD, I have a PhD, that is a doctorate there. So I've worked in it's not about me, I just wanted to mention my name. Thank you, sir. So first, I want to thank you so much for having this opportunity to meet you today. I have followed you for about 3 years from Nigeria. I'm actually a GTEx associate. It's just that I have not really been able to strike the deal that I wanted. Okay, so that I was part of your team. I had some level of training, and then I've read a good number of your books, but I have them in soft copies. Yes. Thank you so much for the fountain of wisdom that you have, not just social media following. I've read your books. I was enrolled into the Kintayo University. Good. I've taken some courses there.
And how is it? You like it?
Of course. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't be here today. So yeah, I can boldly say that I love the content that I've been exposed to there. But this is my first time of having the opportunity to come this close in terms of a physical meeting. Okay, I came from Nigeria just last year. I'm not long here in the UK yet. Okay, so my interest first was of course wanting to learn from you, because I was looking for opportunity to create wealth and to multiply wealth. Okay, yeah, I make some money from my consulting work. I also run an NGO, and that is where I've developed my experience that I'm now using for consulting. So what brought me to the UK here, I'm doing consultancy work for the University of Success. I'm mentoring some community-based organization for sustainability. So I get some money from consulting here and there, but I'm looking for a way to multiply wealth, not just what my skills brings in. And that is how I started thinking about what I can do in real estate. Okay. Back, I'm from Kogi State in Nigeria. I have some property back in my state where I come from. So it is looking for how can I learn and what can I do to make investment into real estate that brought me closely to follow you. And it's the same thing that I see brought me here today. So not really a question, but to say that, hey, I admire your person, I admire your strategy, and I admire how you have done your businesses, and I really want to have a closer followership. That is the reason I came here today. Then my question will now be your property in Abuja. Actually, that is the property I've tried to market while I was back in Nigeria. but I'm actually interested in making my own direct investment. Okay, I've not really had more recent information update about what happened, so I really want to have an update. What is it with the property in Abuja, any work, and then what is the state? Are we still pushing it? What is the opportunity to make investment into that property? Because that is the area I'm very much interested in. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Well, it depends. I mean, GTES is always launching different projects. We're always having different projects. So I don't even know which one you're referring to. But all our sites, there's always constant work. You know, even the Kuje one that was the latest, they're already doing the fence work already.
The one by the airport, is it Jasper?
Yeah, Jasper since been fenced. It has its gatehouse. In fact, our office in Abuja is not in Jasper. Okay. You know, fully functional. I mean, solar, internet, everything. So yeah, we're always moving. Sometimes I think maybe because most of you follow me more than the company, so it is where I am that is more loud, right? Our expansion in Nigeria this year is the largest in 16 years. I mean, even in the east, we're not in Enugu. Yeah, exactly. We're not in Enugu, we're in Imo. So we're targeting Christmas because we know most of them come Christmas. We want to do heavy. If I deploy to go with private jet, all this will be Cubana and Tutti. I am not loud, but I want to do it for them because I know that's what my Eastern brothers want. So the goal is to get all of them charter a private jet and dress in Igbo attire and go and do probably invite flavor and do a big launch of some of our.
And that is one thing I really love so much about you, how you strategically use those relationships.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kana is our brand ambassador, you know.
What about those in diaspora who wish to buy from their relations back home?
Yeah, I mean, all our properties people can buy from anywhere in the world, and we send their documents to them anywhere in the world. We partner with DHL. DHL is our partner. So when you buy a property anywhere you are in the world, DHL will take the document to you. And we started that when we realized that people will give to third party, and those third party will go and say, you know, once I have the type document, I can sell any land. Right, so sometimes people send relations to come and collect documents, and those relations end up, you know, taking advantage of them. So now we'll only send your document to you directly, and the document is sent to you anywhere in the world. Right, so we have a CEO. Yes, talk to. Call Goke now. You got Goke's number.
So the properties in the east, are they going to be as nice as the ones in Lagos?
Why would they not be?
And are they off plan as well?
Yes, this land we're selling for now in the east. Call Goke, right? Because I realize a lot of people just want me to answer all the questions. Meanwhile, we have CEOs in charge of each subsidiaries. Right, they are the ones that run the business day to day. Sometimes I don't even have the accurate information like they do, because I've not even been in Nigeria for almost 2 months now.
In the viewpoint of a salesperson, I'm talking about in the viewpoint of a buyer, as in
they are the ones who will give you all those answers, because they are the ones that run the business daily, interface daily, right? So, but I don't know. Some of you are too attached to Dr. Steve.
Well,
so
for those of us that want mentorship, of course, that is
for the mentorship. This Saturday and Sunday you need to be here. I can extend 50% discount to you as well as him as well. It's strictly real estate. It's for 2 days, and we break down how to do real estate here in the UK, how to access finance, the types of real estate to do here. You know, and if I've told everyone paying is 100% money back guaranteed. If after the class you have not figured out how to start making money here in the UK, tell me you want your money back, and I'll give. Because we're just using the money to pay for the venue and all of that. It's not even profitable. Yes, it's £1,500, but you know, the issue is that if you know where we are, you will know that per night, you know, it's actually because at some point I'll take you guys to my apartment, and that is over £2,000 per night. right? So, and then we're serving food for the 2 days, we're giving certificates. So what people are paying is just to cover the bills. Well, I'm not making profit from it. But I promise you it's going to be a detailed analysis. I'm bringing a gentleman called Sanfongo who will break down how to source for real estate deals here in the UK, how to use auction, right? Auction is one of the fastest way to get properties here in the UK. So it's really going to be a very in-depth, practical, and life-changing class. I mean, you will leave the place now knowing ways you can at least start making money from real estate here in the UK, and by extension, Nigeria as well. So we're also going to be giving the video courses for the Nigerian course as well. So all these questions you're asking about Nigerian stuff are answered in the Nigerian real estate masterclass. Make sense?
Just a quick one before you tidy up. In Aba area, I think I heard you say something about Aba area.
Yes.
Are you guys looking to get somewhere, a place, or you have already?
Yes, so we have already, and we are willing to get more. We have already in all the eastern states.
Yeah, because I know.
So please, if you are getting the book, stand up, let them see you. Talk to him. You can pay to him, and I need your name, email, and phone number so that for those of you that are sending the link to the university, the audio, and all of that, they can send it to you. And then once you've paid, please bring the book. I will sign for you, and then we take pictures. Okay. Please, when the gentleman is back, I want all of us to sit down, and then we'll take pictures from the outside. Hello, sir. When the man is back, we'll open the door, and then we'll take picture. Just show all of us.
I think it was about 2010 or so. So there was this my guy. He was working with GT Homes, Chidi Okunta. He was the guy that first of all mentioned tile.
One's £30.
One is £30, and then if they are getting the entire 5, it's for £120. And then they will be getting the access to university and to the audio and video copies.
Yeah, Chidi was telling me, I think he was asking me for 2 million then to invest in GT's homes. So by then I was running around to come off the country. So it wasn't a good deal for me that time. Then after a few years, I started seeing you online and all that. And you would know me very well if we go down the line, my messages and stuff, full conversations and all that. So, but I didn't follow up because the first time you did a program in UK here about doing this investment, I couldn't. So, but I went back to Nigeria to start building my own, So it was a mistake because I know you did say, don't do that. It was a mistake. You did say, don't do that. But I just wanted to it was
the big deal? I can do it on my own. This man just want to collect our money.
To be honest, I'm stopped now. It was a 5-bedroom duplex. It's got library, gym stuff. But I just roofed it and I stopped. Why I stopped? Because number one, I begin to feel I tried a lot of money. I think a lot of money have gone into that project without finishing.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of continuing with it. I was now thinking, had I invested this money somewhere that would be, making money for me, probably I should be all right right now.
Very true.
So that's even the more reason why I said, no, I will see Dr. Steven this time around, and let's talk the way forward. We really need to. After this,
no problem. Okay, let's take pictures. Everybody will look that way.
that's fine.
Do we have to take the mic off? Or
No, it's okay.
Okay, so
It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1. One more. All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate you. Please bring your book, let me sign, and then we take pictures, okay? Those of you watch virtually, thank you for joining virtually. Love you all. And